Good morning. I'm going live. I think I'm actually live right now. So, waiting for my special guest this morning. Um, got a cool conversation. Hey, friends. See if I can wave. All right.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Yay.
I
There's always,
made it. It's
yes,
a
we made it.
miracle.
Wonderful. Woo. Yeah, I'm like holding my breath. I think it's going to happen. It's Monday. Who knows what goes on over the weekend? All right, well, let's get rolling. So if y'all don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Mbong Henry, a Radiance PT. I help women who are frustrated with pelvic pain, holding them back from living their best life. And we work together during pregnancy as they bravely prepare for birth and postpartum so they get back to the sports they love. And I have with me today the amazing Everett Uhl, who is a licensed therapist. And Everett, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And why don't you share about what you do in your specialties?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I am a marriage and family therapist, so that specifically means that I am equipped and trained to work with families and couples as well as individuals. I started kind of focus more on women, either trying to conceive, currently pregnant, or kind of struggling post-baby, and have kind of went with that and then sort of did a reconceptualization framework of actually just love working with people who are having an experience of a transition in their body in some way, looking to rebuild and strengthen their mind-body connection, and sort of going with that more holistic route because we got this one system and
Yeah.
our mental health and our physical health are super interconnected.
Yes, that's so, so true. I love that. You know me, I love the holistic practices. So tell me, tell the listeners or watchers, how did you get started in this field? How'd you
Yeah,
find it?
this is kind of my second career at this point. I was an environmentalist, all about climate change and fighting that. So worked for a wind and solar energy company in their acquisition and just was sort of moving along with them and started to question and ask myself when I'm 40 years old, do I want to be a chief marketing officer? Is that what is going to make me happy? Or do I want to be doing something else? And so kind of kept getting called back to the therapy field. And so decided to change my whole world and go to grad school and become a licensed therapist because I really wanted something. I wanted to have a net positive impact. Did really like the idea of being an entrepreneur, having my own autonomy, and you know, really actually helping people through the work that I did.
Awesome. That's incredible. I love that, like that job shift. But yeah, purpose is huge. And
Yeah.
so with that in mind, what is a fun fact about you that people may not know?
So a fun fact about me, I have so many. Some are more PG-13 than what this Instagram live will be. No, so I grew up as a dancer, and that is something that I really credit with this whole like mind-body connection thing. Why is this something that I like? Why is this something I want to encourage people to do? Why is this something that I find super valuable? So grew up as a dancer, and that really kind of shifted this course with this mind-body connection. And then also right now I'm getting my certificate in nutritional psychology. So bringing food into the mix as well, and trying to kind of help guide people, your gut, your microbiome, the foods we eat, if we have sugar, if we have caffeine, if we have alcohol, like what we consume and put in our body definitely influences our mental health and our mental state.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, that is the truth. Love that. Okay, cool. And then as we like talk about like your services and how you support people through transitions, what would you say is like one of the top problems that people reach out to you for?
So stereotypically, right, anxiety and depression, those are always going to show up for us. I always say anxiety is the experience of being human, right? We have brains. We can see
Yes.
problems. Like
Oh my
we're
goodness.
gonna have anxiety. So anxiety and depression usually shows up. I also really enjoy working with folks who have experienced some childhood trauma, whether that's physical abuse or sexual abuse. So that normally comes to me as well, and I provide EMDR services, which is kind of like a trauma-based healing process for that. And then also, again, anybody interested in strengthening their mind-body connection. And then, of course, other people come to me for that perinatal support. They need, it takes a village. So, hey, I'm struggling after baby, or I'm struggling with this pregnancy, whatever that looks like, that's when they're going to come to me.
Wonderful, wonderful. So needed. And then, so with that EMDR, do you mind just kind of like fleshing that out? Like, what does
Yeah,
that mean? How
yeah,
does that work?
yeah. I know it sounds very woo woo, and you're like, huh? But then you watch it work and it's incredible. So essentially, if you've read like The Body Keeps the Score, the theory is that trauma kind of like stays within us. And then our body is responding to these external stimuli based on this experience we had when we were like 5 or 6, rather than the experience that's actually happening when we're 35. Um,
Mhm.
and so, one, it gets locked in our body. And two, our kid brains are quite simple, right? So we create these beliefs based on this negative experience that happened to us. So the world is not safe. I cannot trust people. I cannot protect myself. These like very deep core beliefs that can come up again and again as we're an adult. So one, we're going to expose you to the memory, right? Because most of us are very good at avoiding and
Mhm.
blocking and push it away. I don't want to think about that. And we've trained our minds to never really think about it and go there because it's so painful for us. So first, we're going to expose you to that memory and go in it and go in it and essentially desensitize your body. So, oh, if I think about that painful memory, my heart starts to race. I get a pit in my stomach. Sometimes I might even want to I might get nauseous, whatever it might be. So by exposing you, we're like desensitizing your body to the memory. And then we can go in and kind of with your adult brain, if you will, add in a new belief, right? My body did what it needed to do to keep me safe, or I can protect myself now. So kind of reinstalling these more positive beliefs with our adult self rather than our kid brain of that, if that made sense.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And I love that it's a safe opportunity and a safe container for people who've gone through trauma to really have that healing and have that hope, really.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
so
right. I always say I'm right here
yeah.
alongside you. Like we're doing this together. You're not alone in this, right? And that's what we need.
Wonderful. I love it. And then, so with the transitions that people may be reaching out to you for support, what is something that you wish more people knew about having support during transitions? I think in our society, especially when it comes to having babies, a lot of people are like, I got to do it on my own. But the truth is, we weren't meant to do things on our own as humans.
Yeah.
But yeah, what would you say from your perspective?
Yeah. So with the transitions, you need a support system. That's why I'm there with you, right? You need a physical support system. That's why you're there with them, right? Sometimes getting a nutritionist involved can be helpful. Actually, like utilizing your care team, right? Who is your PCP? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Talking to friends. Hey, what was your pregnancy like? What do you recommend? Seeking out like prenatal yoga. Just expanding your system as much as possible and knowing that you are supposed to have support. You are not supposed to do it alone. Sometimes the transition can be different, kind of separate to pregnant clients, right? Hey, let's get you to AA meetings. That's a great support. That's actually a daily support that you can utilize, right? Because so much of all of our struggle with these transitions is that we think we're alone in it and we think it's only happening to us. So when we can reach out and either share the experience with someone else or speak with others who are having that same experience, we feel less alone. And that is a very powerful thing to experience.
Wonderful. Yes. Oh, so much truth in that. I love it. And then with that in mind, what would you say is a common myth that you see floating out there about therapy that you could bust?
Yes. So I am appreciative to therapy TikTok, and I am very frustrated by therapy TikTok because now we have words. Like I think therapy words, gaslighting, trauma, all of those things are very much like a part of our vocabulary as a society now. And sometimes we use those as a crutch, or we avoid things. We opt out of those things that challenge us or trigger us. And as your therapist, I actually don't want you to do that. I want to really push you and challenge you, right? Instead of doing your fight, flight, or freeze, I actually want you to be grounded and centered enough in yourself so you can face it head on rather than avoiding it. So great example is the holidays. My mom triggers me. I don't want to go home. I'm going to go on vacation instead. Now, great. I want you to go on a nice vacation and have a good time and have a good holiday. But if the reason why you're doing that is almost out of like fear and anxiety from mom triggering us, what I want you to do is actually test and challenge yourself and be able to face it. Have some healthy boundaries, only be in and out of there within 48 hours or something. But like, I want you to face that rather than just avoiding and opting out and thinking that that is the solution. So I would say that is the common myth is that we must avoid all of our triggers. And I don't, that's how you just like live in a bubble. You don't experience life.
Yeah, that's so true because conflict is a part of life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a part of being human. But when you're grounded, like you said, and you have that support team, there's so much growth and so much joy that can that come along. That not that every I definitely get the family holiday stuff, but yeah, I love that.
Me too. Speaking from personal experience.
Yeah, because we're humans, right? But yeah, just recognizing that some of that mything of just opting out of when it gets hard can hold you back from some great opportunities and yourself.
Yes, you can't have darkness without light, right? You got to have the both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is so great. Well, I really appreciate your time, Everett. And then what's a great way folks can get connected with you?
Yes, so you can reach out to me on Instagram, Everett Uhl Therapy. I will spell my name, EverettUhl Therapy. And then same thing, my website is everettuhltherapy.com.
Awesome. And I'll put the details in the caption for anybody catching up later. All right. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.